Vince McMahon comes back the following day, straight into the Meadowlands for TV. Meadowlands, Trumbull, Connecticut, 60 miles. Even in New York traffic, I would have done it. Vince Russo didn't have the balls, didn't have the guts, didn't have the decency, didn't have the common courtesy to get his fucking ass in that car and drive to the Meadowlands and walk up to Vince McMahon and say, Vince, they offered me so much fucking money that I couldn't turn them down, and I appreciate it, it's been fun, here's a hearty handshake. He called him on the fucking phone. Vince McMahon gets a phone call at whatever time of day. Oh, by the way, your head writer is not only not coming to your national television tonight, but he just took a job with your competitor. Fuck you, Vince Russo. You're a goddamn ballless fucking prick. And he was so underappreciated. He wasn't given the credit that he was, that he deserved, that he was responsible for. Nobody recognized him. You know what they're recognizing now? They're recognizing what Vince Russo shit looks like when they didn't have Vince McMahon standing over him saying, you know what? Those 24 ideas are real bullshit, but I'll take this good one. You got a bunch of fucking dancing bears parading around in the goddamn ring, a bunch of women with silicone, a bunch of goddamn club-footed, slap-happy fucking guys that couldn't work their way out of a goddamn paper bag, and he don't know the fucking difference. And he's out there beating Ric Flair up with a baseball bat because he finally got to be a star. Now he don't have to subsist on the internet marks fucking clapping for him. He can have the fucking roar of their dwindling crowds going, oh, that's, that Russo guy. He's a star now. He beats the wrestlers. He's a fucking prick. He has no respect for the business or the people in it. He made the statement, well, we'll just teach actors to wrestle, because if I can learn to work in the ring, anybody can. There's a goddamn news bulletin I didn't hear about when I heard about World War II and all the other great happenings the last 50 years. When did Vince Russo learn to fucking work? Jesus fucking Christ. I want to puke.
What exactly happened with you leaving a message on his voice machine or something like that?
Oh, that's another good one here, and this proves what a liar he is in addition to all his other fine qualities as a human being. I hope he sues me. As a matter of fact, Vince Russo, if you ever see this, sue my fucking ass and suck my dick while you're at it. You know what? I did make the comment to somebody, and I won't bury them by saying who, because they probably should have reported it. I said because I was coming to Louisville last year, one way or the other, I sincerely wanted, and I will tell you the wonderful story of my relationship with Danny Davis and how I'm tremendously gratified with what I'm doing now with OVW in a little while. But I was coming home because I started being in Connecticut, and I was coming home. And I made the remark, Russo has cut my balls off here since day one, because I know that Vince McMahon has been good to me. And like I said, chocolate and vanilla wrestling, at least he's been honest, and he's not lied to me, and he's not cheated me, and he's not fucking cut my balls off behind my back, blah, blah, blah. Vince McMahon's one fault maybe is that when somebody tells him some things, he believes them too earnestly, or he believes in their loyalty or their honesty too earnestly, because otherwise he wouldn't let a fucking prick like Russo run around. But there's Russo ignoring his kids' Little League games to sit in Vince's outer office to suck up to him. And it wasn't because he wanted to fucking play Sir Walter Raleigh and throw himself down over the mud puddle. It was because he wanted to cut everybody else's nuts off so that he could get the fucking spot, so that he could cut everybody's nuts off, and then he'd be a star. But anyway, I was coming here and I made the remark, if I go home without this developmental program working out like I wanted and I don't have a check, I think I'm just going to hospitalize that fucking Russo my last day here, just because I just goddamn want to. Because he's been cutting my nuts off behind my back, just like he did to Jim Ross, just like he did to a lot of people, and he didn't have the fucking guts to say anything to their foul. He'd argue with me to my face, but the problem is, I wasn't arguing with him because I didn't like him. I didn't like him at that point. There was a time we could ride together. That is no more. But I was arguing with him because I genuinely felt that it was better for business or for the company or for the talent involved that we not do stupid asinine things with them and make them turn into, buffoons and jokes. So anyway, the answering machine. More people who shall not be named, but who used to be friends with Vince Russo until he moved under cover of darkness out of Connecticut after giving no notice and just fucking leaving and going to the competitor. Well, people he used to talk to every day, people he's supposed to be friends with, now they don't hear from him. They don't hear from his wife, their wives don't hear from his wife, they're just gone. They vapor. But as the WWF was going to be in Atlanta, maybe Russo thought he was going to run into somebody, maybe he had a sudden flash of humanity or conscience, I doubt that. Whatever, he left a message on one of their voicemails, give me a call. When you're in town or whatever. And that person happened to be riding in the car with me. And that person happened to work for the WWF. And I have to say to that person, I wish I had that motherfucker's number, because there's some things I never really got a chance to say to him before I left. Well, here's his number. Okay. Here you go. Must have been his cell phone. Because he answered it. It was like 11 o'clock at night. It wasn't 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm driving the car. hello? I recognize that voice anywhere. I said, Vince Russo. He said, yeah. Jim Cornette. He said, hey. I said, I just want, and this was after he got sent home the first time. I said, I just want to call you up and congratulate you, you fucking piece of shit, on getting canned, getting your ass fired, getting sent home for being incompetent, you fucking piece of shit. You cut my goddamn nuts off long enough to everybody that you could and try to get me fired long enough. So how does it feel to know that they finally fucking found out that you goddamn don't know what you're fucking doing? Fuck you. And then I said, and if you'd like my fucking home phone number, since I'm on a cell phone, break it up where we can continue this, it's, and I started to give it to him, I realized he'd already hung up. Well, okay, that's his privilege. It's also my privilege, since I still possess that phone number, to call it the next day. Because I still had some things I had said to him. And that day his voicemail picked up that time, and I said, you know, by the way, I'd just like to remind you also that you are the shits, and you're a goddamn piece of shit, you're a liar, I mean, you know, just directed at him. I can't remember what it was, but it was actually one of the better Jim Cornette tirades directed at him, at Vince Russo, at the human slimeball himself. He calls the WWF Human Resources Department that's supposed to handle shit like, you know, don't call each other names. I don't know what the fuck they do. I'm wrestling. I'm not human resources. He told them that I had threatened his children, that I said I wanted to fuck his wife. I'm sorry, I've seen Amy. She's a saint to live with the piece of shit, but I wouldn't know. I'm not romantically interested. I didn't say anything about his kids. His kids are actually some fucking misbehaving hell at the moon fucking kids. I'm over at Bruce Pritchard's house one time. He had a little cookout, had some ribs. He said, try my hammock. I said, I sure will. I'm laying in a hammock, it's peaceful under the tree. These little fucking pricks shot me with one of those goddamn water machine guns hooked up to a garden hose. I hate kids anyway, to truth be honest. Most of them, because they're all, you know, misbehaving. But anyway, so his kids are unruly kids, but I didn't say anything about his kids. His kids never did anything wrong to me besides shoot me with a water gun. I'll forgive that. His wife's never done anything to me. I was talking to him because he's the piece of shit that's fucked me around. So he calls him up and says that and tries to get the guy that gave me the number in trouble because even though he doesn't work there, he still wants to fuck with everybody else. So Russo's just a piece of shit on a number of levels. He's devalued and destroyed a large part of the credibility of the wrestling business. Every time people turn on that Thunder and that Nitro and that senseless, I mean, it looks like they edited in a mix master, and the performances are horrible, and they can take talent and make it no talent. Like I said, you get Lance Storm in a match, you're stumbling around like a drunk man. Lance Storm, one of the most graceful people I've seen this side of Nureyev. What does that say for your... They can't book a match. They don't know what a match is. They've never had one. They think they've had them. They've actually had stumble, fumble, and fall matches. You know, so anyway, that's just brief little snippets of how I feel about Vince Russo. I could go on in detail, but you probably